Michelle, I have a special question for you before I go back to fusion. So I'm going to turn the question around on you. So what do you think about the advent of the private sector-driven nuclear projects as opposed to the government-led ones?
Yeah, I mean, I think our view on this question is clearly going to be very different, I think, than the answers that have previously been given, and that's really because of our scale and what we're trying to essentially create a paradigm shift, turn the current model completely on its head. Key to that is the business-to-business kind of demand-driven free market approach to nuclear. That's what we're trying to bring to this sector. That's how every other energy technology is developed, aside from nuclear. And we've seen a lot of innovation, and that innovation comes through competitiveness, through free market competitiveness, and ensuring your product has a buyer, has a customer. So the customer for us, we have two customers. One is obviously the energy users themselves. So our sales process is we actually sign power purchase agreements directly with energy users, and we sell them electricity and heat. They don't, operate their own reactors. We operate our reactors, or we will. And our other customer are our financial investors, our project investors, who are looking to make a return on their investment in that asset, in that project. And so what we're essentially trying to do is create a model where by taking on that risk of ensuring the private financing, that we're perfectly aligning incentives to ensure that from the design to the procurement, to the construction, manufacturing, operations, maintenance, and then eventually decommissioning of these power plants, that incentives are aligned across all of the relevant stakeholders, including government, but Last Energy is kind of sitting in the center of that. So governments, what do they want? They want to ensure they're able to meet their targets of net zero, ensure reliable, security of clean energy for their nation, for their citizens. We work with regulators to ensure the safety and security of the assets that we're deploying. We work with the communities as a project developer to ensure that they have something in their communities that obviously brings them benefit, but they are extremely proud of. That's what we're seeing, especially in the markets we're working in now. And then, of course, we work with our financiers to ensure that they're making a return on their investment. So by kind of playing that central role and ensuring that we're considering the objectives of each of those stakeholders and putting government as one of those key stakeholders, but it's not in financing, right? It's in doing what governments do best. Regulatory, permitting, government does not need to be the developer of a microreactor. Government certainly has a major role to play in gigawatt scale projects, but for microreactors, we want governments to be treating us just like they would any other energy technology of comparable size.